Swoohoo YouTube, it's SwooCube here, and today, whoop, kids hair bands. And today, we are talking Robin Hood Boba Fett. Good guy Boba Fett. Disney Plus Boba Fett. The Boba Fett that we thought we wanted and maybe we didn't actually want once we got him, but he was actually kind of cool anyway. And upon rewatch the show, it's actually not so bad. Hey, maybe you loved the show when it came out. Maybe you didn't. I personally was not my favorite. And when this leader was spoiled, I thought, that looks kind of vanilla. I probably won't build that deck because the flavor doesn't really appeal to me too much, and the gameplay doesn't seem that interesting. But over time, I have come to greatly enjoy Robin Hood Boba Fett, both in my cube adventures with set 2 of Star Wars Unlimited. He's a fantastic leader in Limited, and gameplay with him is actually a total blast. He's a lot of fun. And I will also say that I have rewatched much of the Book of Boba Fett, and it's not quite as rough around the edges as I remember. There are certainly some charm there. So, without further ado, Boba Fett Daimyo, the Star Wars Unlimited Starter Deck Battle Box Deck Tech video. This deck is designed to play well with the starter decks from FFG. Normally I have them up here as a prop, but I have lent them out so new players can learn the game. So I'm doing the good work. So I do not have them today. But this deck is designed to be at that power level. So if you bring this deck to your locals, you are going to get smacked by anyone who net decks anything or is part of the KTOD Discord. This is meant for kitchen table play, for teaching play, for fun with your kids, with your friends, game night type stuff. It's built with a large degree of one-off cards, which lowers the consistency level of the deck and gives a greater level of replayability. So tuned for casual, tuned to play with any of the other decks that I have in my playlist. At this point, I think I'm getting close to 20. So my battle box is getting pretty crowded, but I love it. I'm here for it. And let's keep going. So Boba Fett Daimyo, of course, the base has to be Jabba's Palace. So this is a green-yellow hero deck. Very much a mid-range build. And let's talk about some ground units here. Actually, let me just do a quick summary of... I'm assuming everyone knows the card. But for those who don't, if there's any of you, when you play a unit that has one or more keywords, you can exhaust Daimyo as a leader to give one of your units +1 strength. It doesn't have to be the unit you played. It can be any unit on the field. So in this deck, you just want a lot of units with keywords. The flip side, 4/7 for 6. Nice Mandalorian stats. Each friendly unit that has 1 of 4 keyword gets a permanent +1/+0. So pretty strong. The leader side really encourages good sequencing and kind of makes you burn some mental calories in a different way. So I actually find the gameplay with this leader pretty fun and rewarding. So 1 clone deserter, keyword restore, and bounty. So 2 keywords. 3 Jawa scavengers. Flavorful with the show, episode 1. Also saboteur. So these are really can be 3/1 saboteurs, which is not too bad. 2 cloud riders, ambush. A crafty smuggler, shielded. And 3 free time backups, smuggle. So this is really kind of a 4-drop, but we'll drop it down here. Also 2 Gamorrean retainers. You'll see quite a bit of early game plays. This is a very unit heavy deck, a very low to the ground deck. Because a lot of times, I'm going to move these guys over. We're going to put these with the 4s because that's really how they tend to play. A lot of times you kind of screw around with the optimal sequencing in order to get some good attack buffs. So having a lot of cheap units really helps because these can kind of be combat tricky as well. 3 drops, we've got a Cobb Vanth, of course. He does not have a keyword, notably. 3 Homestead Militias for Sentinel. Set 1 card, but kind of, Homestead Militia kind of felt thematic with the defense of Mos Espa. And these are conditional Sentinels, so they will not get a buff until he's flipped, really. And then they'll get a permanent buff, and they'll be 4/4 Sentinels for 3, which is great. Alone Liberated Slaves. and a lone swoop racer, non-keyworded. Onto the 4 drops, we have our Freetown backups. We also have an escort skiff, which is, where Boba Fett almost met his demise in Return of the Jedi. And he crawled out from the Sarlacc pit at the very beginning of the show that he fell into off of this speeder. So I thought that was also thematic. 2 modded cohorts, straight out of the show, have ambush and raid. So these guys are absolutely great with Boba. Up to 5, we have a resourceful pursuers, bounty hunter crew with Saboteur, a steadfast battalion, and then Enfys Nest and 2 mercenary companies. And lastly, a Fennec Shand. So I believe we are looking at 27 ground units here. Pretty standard curve. The vast majority have keywords, and really you're just trying to punch. And that's what Boba Fett wants to do. And it's pretty fun. So that's the chunk of the deck. Let's look at space units. This deck has 10 space units, which is a couple more than I usually do. I usually land around 8. But they are notably pretty weak. Mining Guild TIE Fighter, so 1-2. A little keyworded Starhopper there. Keyworded Outer Rim Headhunters from set 1. Privateer Skik. Consortium Star Viper, which might have a keyword, and then 2 Karaz heavy fighters. So pretty low on stats across the board. I found that with the amount of buffs floating around, it was almost always felt right to just throw a bunch of stats on your spaceships and smash. And so I tried to keep the ships, none of them are all too threatening. There's no 5-5s or 5-6s in here. They're all pretty flimsy, but you can kind of swarm in the air a little bit, so that is not bad. Non-unit events. To look the other ways, Boba Fett is not opposed to the bribe. Some outflank action, a tactical advantage, a timely intervention, 2 spare the target for removal, 2 take captive, also removal, and then lastly 2 rich rewards and a jetpack to round out with some upgrades. This deck is really straightforward. It is basically just efficient mid-range, but I did feel like I was able to hit a really high flavor note with this deck, and so that kind of gave it some spark for me, and it's totally fun to play. It kind of falls in a similar vein as maybe Bo-Katan kind of plays a little bit like this sometimes. Just low to the ground mid-range, you're trying to make efficient plays. Sequencing is really important. And yeah, flavor-wise, I think there were enough pieces that I kind of nailed it. So I'm proud of this one. Sleeper pick for me. I did not expect to build a deck with this Boba, as I said before. But if you enjoy Book of Boba Fett, and I cast no shade on those who do, and I reluctantly do as well, even though it took me a while to come around to it. This will be big at your tables. So please enjoy. Please subscribe. I will be back. I said that this was going to be my last video and I wasn't going to post it for a couple weeks, and I totally lied. I have at least one more, and that one I probably won't post for a couple weeks, but I couldn't wait to get this one out. So decided to squeeze it in. Hope everyone has a great first couple weeks of September here. And if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, you enjoy the cooling weather. I certainly am where I'm located. Take care. Talk soon. Bye.